So recently Mojang's newest mob vote candidates have been announced, centered around real life creatures, such as the crab, armadillo, and the penguin. In this video, I'm going to look over the additions and possibilities that these mobs could bring into the game, alongside enhancing them to be added into my Vanilla Plus mod, which if you didn't know is a major project I and many others have been working on. Maybe we might do another of our own mob votes soon. Subscribe to stick around to see that. Anyways, enjoy the video. First up, we have the crab, which I'll be honest, I've planned for a few crabs in the mod, so we might scrap or integrate them alongside the crab, appearing in mangrove swamps, which mostly known for living in the mangrove swamps in real life would be the mud crab. Interestingly, the crab shown seems to be that of a blue fiddler crab, leaving a few other types of crab we've planned a possible way in, like the yeti crab, which could appear in the cold oceans, which if more are implemented later on, even with different colorations, would help with representing different types of crabs around the world. The crab claw will be used to extend block reach, or reach in general, which reminds me of the extendo grip from the Create mod. I'm not too sure how this would be used yet, either in the offhand like the extendo grip, used as a potion brewing ingredient to give reach, or a possible other system. The crabs are seen doing a cute little wave to the tinies, which is a nice personality bit, but what got my attention more is their climbing of the trees. They're sideways. Would spiders also rotate onto the wall they're clung to for consistency? It's possible. The armadillo is cute. I'm writing this the day each one comes out, and I'm going to assume this one may win, mainly because of the wolf armor, which is something people have wanted for ages now, to better protect them. Jeb seems to collide with them, with the armadillo letting out a little shriek when startled. People have been saying when rolled up, it'd be like a block, similar to shulkers, how the player can stand on top of them, akin to a physical object, which from what I know so far is just speculation. It really depends on how tough this wolf armor would be, along with its level of difficulty of obtaining the armadillo scutes to make it. And finally, we have the penguin, being more of a cute passive addition that can speed up boats. So basically Dolphin's Grace, but boat. I like how clumsy they are on land, as well as how gracefully they swim, and how cool it would look to see them dashing around in the water as if they were flying, but in the water. A few people have wanted the penguins in colder biomes, but the penguins here are not that species, so a different species could be in order later down the line to better suit colder environments. I keep seeing a constant quote of Mojang is lazy and add all three, comparing the output to unpaid modders and such. A lot of YouTubers such as IBX Toycat, Nafi, or even King B-Dogs himself have interacted with a Twitter thread where Wither King, one of the channel's major contributors with writing and content for the Vanilla Plus mod, which he even mentions at one point, gained a lot of traction, which I suggest you should take a proper look if you have the time. Mobs in the past, as I've noted, apart from the very first vote with the wildfire, which was still added into dungeons later on, meaning there's a slight chance Mojang will go back on that, don't get scrapped. Instead, as said by King B-Dogs, or even Jeb himself years ago, they are added to an ideas library. Not completely guaranteed like the winners, but available if they can fit into a future update later down the road. Now, I'm not too great at modding, which is why sooner or later I'm probably going to hire a person or more to help code the mod. People who know what they're doing. But from my experience, working on the limitations of JavaScript, which was apparently first created in 1995, I would imagine the mob votes are not made to divide up workloads to make things easier, but more of a business decision. I mean, looking at the views of the mob vote related videos and mods that are released within a day, quality or not, they know how to make people talk about the product. I think many people that take the stance simply haven't experienced enough of the other side, making assumptions and comparing modders who have completely different softwares than Mojang, which also has to be a company on top of what they make. Clearly though, the Mojang team has a lot of dedication. If we were to make changes and alter these mobs to be a little more useful for the Vanilla Plus mod, including some of the previous losing mobs, what could we do? To start off, I would add a few changes to the crab. Frogs and crabs in real life apparently can have a symbiotic relationship, usually meaning mutually beneficial, maybe something as little as a unique animation when going near one another. Or the crab being able to dance to a jukebox in reference to the crab rave meme, with, as I mentioned previously, more textures and model variants for separate crab species, like how there's different colours of frogs around the world. Armadillos could live in burrows, small systems of tunnels within the savannah and whatever biomes it could spawn in. Known for digging, they could be used to excavate softer blocks like dirt, sand, and snow from specific areas. And the penguin, apart from the boat upgrade, doesn't add too much else. So I would add an interaction with when the player decides to fish, if around penguins, and have given them a treat such as a fish. They could give the player buffs to get better loot while fishing, or making catches more frequent. They could even give the luck effect to players, as currently luck affects the same system that fishing uses to determine loot gathered, giving better chances for the more uncommon items. I really wanted to mod these into the game, but I've been having issues with my modding software recently, so we'll focus on implementing them later on, after the winner is announced. I've taken some suggestions on what the previous mob vote losers could do in the mod, like the copper golem being able to interact with and improve specific block abilities, possibly a beacon slightly increasing the range and power of effects the more copper golems work on it. The glare could grow or fertilize glowberries to make more of a special worthwhile variant. The rascal having some items that are rarer, similar to how piglin bartering items are ranked, with some of the higher ranking items including new items, or stuff like night vision potions. Maybe we could expand on the idea of rascals a bit more. We'll see. Tough golems could have a special station that they always come back to, made to get up, depending if the station is powered or emitting a redstone charge, when a comparator is connected to a station, whilst a dormant tough golem resides on it. Even the iceologer is getting a change, even though a lot more slight, summoning the ice cloud above their own head before lobbing it towards their target. I'd say my only issues with the mob votes is that they're pretty predictable. My biggest example being the sniffer. Obviously not everyone is going to go on a deep dive on the possibilities of every mob vote, meaning when you hear a rock with legs that carries items, a strange smurf reject that gives you pickaxes, or a dinosaur that adds a hatching system, adds onto an existing structure, and adds more plants, which one are you going to choose in that situation? If you followed the channel for a bit, you'd probably know that I've done mob votes in the past, to do with my Vanilla Plus mod, usually taking a few months to try and balance the selections out. But while it can be pretty hard sometimes, I believe a mob should win because of its specific appeal, not by the amount of content it adds, which Mojang has kind of gotten better with this one, with the crab and armadillo. I see lots of different polls with different answers, with the armadillo winning on some, and the crab winning on others. So I'm glad this vote is starting to add a bit more tension, but sadly not enough. I feel like locking mobs out until a much later update at best makes the community as a whole feel like they lose either way, being teased with what they might not even get. For me personally, it doesn't feel like the penguin is actually part of this vote, due to the obviousness of its impending loss. With the community going over wolf armor that realistically probably won't do much, assuming it's got a similar protection level to the turtle shell, or a crab claw which can increase range for blocks, which is still insane. Better building, better PvP when it comes to lava buckets, cobwebs, or even end crystals. The options are just not balanced. Personally, I'm voting for the crab. Not only because of the claw, but because I just like the crab as an animal, if that wasn't obvious already. As a fun little detail if you haven't noticed already, our penguin model looks noticeably different from the sprite shown, as we wanted the design to be more like Minecraft Dungeons penguin pets, which on top of this species, also has an emperor penguin, which we'll probably add alongside the normal one. More additions to the stone shores would be nice, since as it currently stands, there's not much going on in that biome at all. A few more mobs could be redone to suit the mod a bit better, so feel free to suggest any ideas down below. So, who are you voting for? What do you think update 1.21 is going to be centered around? Do you think they'll add the other biome vote candidates? But if we're being honest, probably, because of the theming with real animals and completing other previously promised things in past updates. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe and like the video if you haven't already. It always helps me out. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in another video. But until then, have a good day or night.